Welcome to the Collective Blueprint Training Unpacking the Toolbox. In today's training, you will identify key resources, find user-friendly tips, and share your reflections. So what is the Collective Toolbox, you may ask? Are we now a construction company? Nope, but it's a great question. The Collective Toolbox is a website housing the tools and resources you can use to build your best life. All the resources identified on the site came from you through either your feedback with staff or on our surveys. So first, thank you. The site is a reminder that, like blueprints, do not build anything, and that we want to make sure that you, the builders, have all the tools that you need as you navigate this world. Speaking of the tools that we need to navigate our world, sometimes tools aren't physical things, but they're conversations. Many of you identified that even during this time of social distancing, you still wanted a way to connect with others. And so, Zianya developed a wonderful thing called coffee chats. In a professional context, coffee chats are informal interviews where you can sit and get to know your employer, and the employer vice versa gets to know you. Our coffee chats serve many different purposes. One can be from professional and connecting with allies on how to navigate the IT space during social distancing, but others can be more informal. So it can be what are parenting strategies that you've come up with during this pandemic? Or maybe you join on the Zoom call and you're given a prompt, and by the end of the 45 minutes, y'all have a poetry slam around the topic. To this, coffee chats are conversations to keep you woke during this time. Once we get to the website, I'll show you where you can find upcoming coffee chats and forms to sign up. Alongside coffee chats, just to review some community norms that we went over, if you missed it, we are keeping all the norms that y'all came up with during the intensive because we respect those, and that's what you need for this learning space. I know that Zoom, Google Hangouts, this virtual world, it also is a new platform for all of us. So all the norms you see in bold are more of our virtual learning norms that you'll use within coffee chats and in other virtual spaces. All right, so we have norms and no coffee chats. I'm supposed to say woke, but what is this portal? Let me see it. Hold on, we're getting there. So when you first get to the site, this is the banner that you'll see. At the top, you'll see Home, Resources, Employment, and School and Pathway. You'll know which tab you're on based on which one is bold. So right now I know I'm home, both physically and virtually in the space with you. The little caret that you see next to these indicates that there's a drop-down menu. For resources, when you click the caret, you'll be directed to mental health, government assistance, unemployment, and basic needs, and we'll go through all of these things in a second. For employment, the drop-down will be part-time employment and resume revision. And for school and pathway, as of now, it's IT professional, phlebotomy, and medical device, with more to come. Now that we've explored the main components of this site, let's jump in to explore more. So we are at our home screen. As you see, home is bolded, and then we have resources, employment, and school and pathway at the top. Just as a side note, if you're on a phone, your navigation bar won't be at the top as you see here, but it'll actually be these three lines. So if you click on those lines, then you will see the main tabs. All right? But going back, before we jump into everything that there is to offer, first I would give you the tip of bookmarking the site. Again, all these resources were compiled for you. And so in order to check back and make sure you get the quickest access, bookmarking is a way of making sure that you can always find your place. So instead of typing randomly in a Google search bar or trying to find that email that had the link to this, you can automatically have it in your history. If you want to know more about how to create a bookmark specifically for your browser, in the home, for that little caret, you can see a user manual. In the user manual, you'll see frequently asked questions, and so these have answers to questions that were asked about this site. So you can click through and read. And then if I'm going too fast for any of the bookmarking, I'll include any of these user tips here, so tips for using the toolbox. So you can find your browser, you can click the little caret, and then follow those instructions in order to make sure that you know how to bookmark, all right? So again, this site was made for you, so the hope is that anything I'm going through, that you can have access to that material, but also feel free to always reach out, okay? Going back to the home page, To explore the home page, if you ever see a little caret, this means that you can drop down. So I wrote some words, you can read them or not. To get to the main pieces, we do have a table of contents, which goes over resources, employment, and school and pathway. The resources, these buttons are links to the parts of the website that leaders are using the most. So sometimes these may change, but we will try to keep them the same just for easier navigation. This mental health resources page you can also find in the caret above. This site is evolving every day, so parts of it are still under construction. In the future, if you want to see upcoming coffee chats, if you want to see the next study session, if you want to see when we're going back to the office, there will be a calendar here that will inform you on these latest updates. Now that we've gone through the home page, let's jump into the main resources. Instead of clicking on that caret, just click on the word resources. When you click on this word, you'll see a tagline. So for any of these tabs, it's a house, and it's housing the tools. For resources, it's housing the tools for your direct needs. Resources is first because without you, there's no employment, there's no school pathway. We first have to think about ourselves, and then we move forward. And so the 4 main tabs again are mental health, government assistance, unemployment, and basic needs and technology. Each one of these is a button that will take you to the specific sub-tab that you see here. And then the quick links are more things like they're either forms or they're like sub-pages that have more information. So if you don't want to have to navigate through all of these areas, you can quickly go here. Again, we want to make sure that this site is accessible. So if you are ever afraid that you're going to click too far and go down a rabbit hole, don't worry, we're trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. So all of these buttons are just extra precautions that you know where to go. So let's explore mental health. So I can click on mental health here. And it's the same if I had clicked it here. One thing I want to point out is if you ever see a box and there's a caret around it, it just means that you can expand even more. So under mental health resources, there's also a self-care toolbox, which we'll see within here. So going back, shout out to Anna. She compiled all of the mental health resources you will see within this page. First one is if you're interested in individual counseling or group support, you can click here to fill out this interest form, and we'll get back to you within 48 hours. Moving on to the self-care toolbox. In addition to maybe wanting a support group or an individual counseling session, we can do things throughout the day that can serve as self-care. And all of these resources are free. And so, if you click here, you can look at the free resources to ground that self. And so again, there's a quote. If you see a drop down, it means you can expand and read some more of why this space is important. So this is sourcing the options for inner liberation. And then below we have soul food, so tools you can use to nourish either your body, spirit, mind, or family. So since all of these resources are free and they are all virtual, that means that like when you click to expand on any of these sections, let's say I want to see some free workout and dance classes, and I'm big on Instagram. I can click here and it'll take me directly to this woman's page where I can watch her live feeds, but I can also see her workout videos. She's getting it, Lord. Some of these are related to Facebook, so you may need to sign in. So if you're not up on social media, maybe selecting one that is like a pre-recorded class option. Going back, we just went over mental health resources, and we are right now in the free self-care toolbox. Let's explore government assistance. Listed on this page are government assistance programs to receive food, monetary relief, and payment assistance for childcare. All these programs are offered through the Tennessee Department of Human Resources, and so you will need to create an account before you can apply. You can click the button here to set up your account. Once you set up your account, or if you already have an account, you can then go through this website and explore SNAP, TANF, and the Child Care Payment Assistance. Each program, you'll see basic qualifications. So what are the minimum things that you need to have in order to qualify? And then how do you show that you qualify, which you'll find in the necessary documents. Just to keep on your radar, that TANF and SNAP, they both have the same application. So if you are completing the form for the first time, you would just select both or whichever one you were going for. The very last one is childcare payment. This one, again, basic qualifications, necessary documents. This one you will need to show that you do have children, and so their passport, birth certificate. It is based on financial eligibility requirements, so you can click that link and it'll take you to this table. This can help you see if you qualify. Again though, if you're having questions about this or some of this is confusing, feel free to reach out. I can direct you to the person that would be able to answer your question. Specifically for childcare, if you were like, I want to see what this application looks like before I click, I'm going to apply, you can click here, and here's an overview. So this is the actual paper application that some people mail. We do suggest that you complete all these applications online, even though there's the paper version, just for quicker processing. The next section we're going to go to, we can go to resources. We're actually going to go to unemployment resources. This page outlines available resources for navigating not only just unemployment, but also part-time employment as well. So the first thing I want to go over is the pandemic unemployment assistance. So in the past, this was just unemployment. However, the eligibility qualifications for unemployment have expanded due to COVID and the CARE Act. So you can find those new qualifications here. The past unemployment qualifications also still exist, but this is hoping to capture more people so that more people can get support. Again, just like in the last government assistance tab, here is the information that you'll need in order to prove that you meet the basic qualifications. The normal processing time for a claim is 21 days. However, due to the pandemic, you may experience a really quick turnaround or the full 21 days. So just give yourself the full window. Once your claim has been processed and you've been approved, you can then expect payment within 1 to 2 business days to your account. In the past, if you ever filed unemployment, you would have to show every week that you were applying for jobs. However, for the pandemic unemployment assistance, you just need to re-register every Sunday. Just as a quick plug, if you make less than $275 a week, you qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance, and you can receive a minimum of about $600 a week. So again, I know TANF is a program we just went over of how to apply, and that is temporary monetary assistance. This is also temporary, but it doesn't take as long as a process usually. If you are interested in applying, you will need to create a Jobs for Tennessee account. If you're part of WIN through the collective, you already have an account. If you need your username and password, please feel free to reach out because we do have those on file. If you are not WIN and you don't have an account, you'll go here and follow the steps to create your Jobs for Tennessee account and then to file an unemployment insurance claim. If you do have an account, you will just go here, it's a shorter list, go through the checklist to complete your claim. Once you create a Jobs for Tennessee account, you can download this app in order to quickly re-register every Sunday if you need for unemployment, to check your status, or to just find available jobs coming within your area. If you are an Android user or you have Google Play as your app store, you'll click here. If you're on an Apple device, you'll click here, and it'll take you directly to the App Store to download. Since I'm on a computer, it doesn't allow me to download it, but on your phone it will. Back. There's also a video explaining how to file for Unemployment Weekly on the app. If you're looking for employment, here is a link to our job board and to request part-time work. So if I click the View Part-Time Work Now, this is the same tab that you would find in employment, the part-time employment. We have gotten a few questions on how do I apply for these positions. So if you see just the logo, you can click there and it'll give you information about the job and then how to apply. If you see an actual email, this is the person that you would email with your resume and cover letter. To be very clear, we've gotten a few questions, is that these have all been jobs that the collective has found, but that does not mean we have a direct partnership with them. We will post a template at the bottom so that if you want to copy and paste it into an email, feel free to do so. Going back to unemployment, just to make sure I'm clear. If you're looking at the options in the job board and you don't see anything that you can apply for due to transportation or scheduling, you can request support for part-time work. This is a form that will go directly to Kayla, and she'll know what kind of jobs to start filtering. It does not guarantee you will get employment, but it does mean that it'll help us refine our search so that you'll see options that are more applicable to you. We just review government programs, and all these programs take time. So from the beginning of the application to the time that you actually receive the support you're looking for. We do understand people do have immediate needs, and so if you are someone that is needing direct needs, whether it's food, technology, you can go to the basic needs and technology resources. Listed on this page are resources for getting connected to food, rent, utility, internet, and phone services for free or reduced cost. All things are local. We have the Mid-South Food Bank, and then here you will click to find information, rent and utility, and then internet essentials. Going through these resources, we can now go to employment. Now that you have all of your direct needs, this is the house to build your career. So again, this part of the site is being built out still. We've been through the part-time employment support already, so you've already seen this page. The other part of this page I want to highlight is the resume edit request. So this is a form that you will submit if you need your resume updated for, let's say, a part-time job or a job coming down the pipeline. So again, you do not need to be unemployed to access any of these resources. If you are still in school and you're looking to figure out how you put your certification on here, or you want to include a part-time job you've gotten since the intensive, please feel free to reach out. Please know that since I'm getting these requests, and I'll take whatever information you gave me to start updating your resume, just make sure that you complete the form as thoroughly as possible. And now we are off to our final tab, which is School and Pathway. School and Pathway is housing the tools to obtain your certification. Right now we have informational technology, skill trades, and health industry as our main tabs. And there's going to be more sub-tabs. Right now I have medical device finishers, but I do know that more tech, I haven't forgotten about you, but you'll be added soon. And then EMT will be added for the health industry. If you go to the very bottom, this calendar will actually be put on the home page as well, but this is upcoming study sessions. So if you're coming to this site because you had a study session with Olivia, me, and you're wanting to know when the next session is or find more information about it, you can go here. You can change what kind of view you want to see this in. So if you are more of a month person, you can go this way. Or if you want to see an agenda, you can click behind this arrow. Going back, last week we did have a coffee chat, so you can see all of these type of things also within this calendar. So let's go and explore IT. Once you get on your pathway specific site, you can scroll down, and what you'll find are what we call the collective toolkit of 3C resources. The 3 C's are course, certification, and career. To give you a quick overview, let's say I'm in a study session with Olivia. I can click here for certification, and I can get an overview of what my certification material will be, any materials that will help me review, a link to a Google Drive housing any study session notes or resources you can use as you review. Again, the site is constantly being updated, so if you still are looking for a resource or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you for taking your time to listen and walk through the collective toolbox with me. Again, these resources are for you, and please feel free to share them with your family and community members.